Here's the quick rundown of today's top stories, Sunday, July 13th. Sack retrieved from Taal Lake got ripped and possibly contaminating the evidence. A sack filled with burned objects and stones to make it sink got torn while Philippine Coast Guard divers were retrieving it from the Taal Lake in Batangas during a diving operation to search for the remains of the 34 missing cockfighting enthusiasts on Saturday afternoon, July 12th. Commodore Geronimo Tavilla, commander of the Coast Guard District Southern Tagalog, said divers were still able to recover the sack and its contents as they were placed inside a fine mesh net to preserve the integrity of the possible pieces of evidence. The discovery appeared to match the earlier claims of whistleblower Julie Dondon or Todoy Patidongan that the missing Sabangueros were killed and their remains were placed inside a sack with sinkers before being dumped in Taal Lake. Tavilla said the divers have seen and felt more suspicious items at the bottom of the lake, which will be retrieved when they resume their operations. Philippine Coast Guard challenges 3 Chinese vessels claiming sovereignty over Mindoro's waters. As the country commemorated the 9th anniversary of its landmark victory over China in the South China Sea arbitration case, the Philippine Coast Guard issued radio challenges to 2 Chinese warships and a Coast Guard vessel that operated off the coast of Cabra, Occidental Mindoro on Saturday, July 12th. The PCG deployed BRP Teresa Magbanwa to monitor the movements of People's Liberation Army, Navy warships with tail numbers 793 and 164, and a China Coast Guard ship with bow number 4203. The Chinese vessels were spotted operating at 69.31 nautical miles off the coast of Cabra. One of the warships even conducted a helicopter landing exercise. Commodore J. Terriella, PCG spokesperson for West Philippine Sea, said BRP Teresa Magbanua shadowed the Chinese vessels and tried to establish radio communication. However, the warships were not responding. Only the CCG-4203 was coordinating with the PCG, and they were asserting China's sovereignty and jurisdiction over waters, Terriella said. Duterte camp demands dismissal of ICC case for lack of jurisdiction and cites prosecution's failure to investigate within time period. The International Criminal Court Pretrial Chamber 1 must dismiss the case against former President Rodrigo Duterte and release him immediately from detention because of the prosecution's failure to launch an investigation into his crimes against humanity charges within the designated time period, the defense lawyers argued. In a 10-page document dated July 2nd and a publicly redacted version uploaded on the ICC website, defense counsels Nicholas Kaufman and Dov Jacobs argued that the ICC has no jurisdiction on the former president's case. The defense based this request on the dissenting opinions of Judges Paran de Brichambeau and Gocha Lord Kipanidze on the prosecution's request to resume the investigation into Duterte's case in 2023. The 2 judges argued that the prosecutor has to make all efforts to trigger the court's jurisdiction in a manner that would not infringe the right of a state to withdraw from the statute. Habagat continues to bring rains. Cloud clusters east of Mindanao may develop into a low-pressure area, according to PAGASA. The southwest monsoon, or Habagat, continues to affect parts of the country, while another low-pressure area may develop in the coming days, said the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration on Sunday, July 13th. PAGASA weather specialist Obet Badrina said the Habagat is expected to persist in the coming days and may intensify on Thursday, July 17, or Friday, July 18, particularly affecting the western sections of Luzon and the Visayas. Badrina also noted the presence of cloud clusters east of Mindanao, which could develop into an LPA in the next few days. Meanwhile, a tropical storm with the international name Nari remains outside the Philippine area of responsibility and poses no direct threat to the country. As of 3 a.m., it was located 2,165 kilometers east-northeast of extreme northern Luzon and is moving toward Japan. Iran says it would resume nuclear talks with U.S. if guaranteed no further attacks. Iran's foreign minister said Saturday that his country would accept a resumption of nuclear talks with the U.S. if there were assurances of no more attacks against it, state media reported. Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said in a speech to Tehran-based foreign diplomats that Iran has always been ready and will be ready in the future for talks about its nuclear program. But assurance should be provided that in case of a resumption of talks, the trend will not lead to war. Referring to the 12-day Israeli bombardment of Iran's nuclear and military sites and the U.S. strike on June 22nd, Araghchi said that if the U.S. and others wish to resume talks with Iran, first of all, there should be a firm guarantee that such actions will not be repeated. The attack on Iran's nuclear facilities has made it more difficult and complicated to achieve a solution based on negotiations. Stay updated with the latest news. Visit our website at www.mb.com.ph or follow us on social media. Thanks for tuning in to the Manila Bulletin Daily Rundown.